Hey, and thank you for clicking play. And I wasn't going to, because there's going to be 1,000,001 videos out there, but I am actually going to record unboxing the Atari 2600 Plus and a bit of a first play. Now, the reason why I've changed my mind, and full transparency, I did actually open this a little bit last night, just to take a little bit of a peek. And that's what changed my mind. So it's not going to be a first reaction, but there was something very special about when I opened this last night that made me think, yeah, actually this is worth capturing. Now, full disclosure, I have basically blanked myself from looking at anybody else's videos on the Atari 2600 Plus. Another reason why I'm keen to just get into it, so that then, after I've given my first opinions, I can have a look at other people's. Specifically looking forward to looking at Dan Wood's video, because everything he does is good quality. So without seeing it, I just know everything that he does is good quality. Take a look at Dan Wood's video if you're after a quality video on the Atari 2600 Plus. If you just want to see my first reactions and why I had to open this on camera, well, let's get into it now. So I won't do a traditional over the top. I'm just going to open it. I've already sliced the plastic open, so that's that. Let's get that out of the way. And just to give you a look at the box, here's the front. There's the back. Don't really care about the top. And there's the underside. Whatever. The front and back are the interesting bits, right? So, obviously all the screenshots and everything on the back and information about what you're going to get inside. And before we open it... No, we'll just get into it. No, we won't. Before we open it, the two cartridges I've got hiding away back here are what I want to test on my first running of it. Obviously there's the cartridge that it comes with, but I want to see, does it play the 32-in-1 games cartridge that came with the Atari 2600 Junior, the original Atari 2600 Junior? Will it cope with this? The way you cycle through the games on this is you switch the 2600 off and on again. So will this work in the same way? And the other game is a 7800 game, because I don't have a 7800. So will it run? I assume it will. Pole Position 2 on the Atari 7800. Very excited to see, because that is a good game. Right, let's open the box. And this isn't what made me think I need to do this on camera, although that is quite evocative straight away. It's the next bit, because what happened when I was sitting on the couch just over there is I took this bit of plastic off and it's still there. I was wondering if it might leach out. I assume somebody else has commented on this, but if they haven't, what I'm being hit with, and unfortunately you can't tell from the other side of the screen, is the smell. And it's the smell of 1970s, 1980s electronics. I'm not kidding. This is a smell I've not smelt in such a long time. It's this smell of, whether it's the plastics, whether it's the electronics inside, whether it's the type of material on the PCB, the solder. I don't know what it is. But so buying second-hand kit doesn't have this smell. The the A500 Mini doesn't have this smell. I don't know if they've added this. Have they? Somebody in the know must know. What else am I thinking that I've had new? The Atari flashbacks. No, it wasn't there. This, I can't begin to explain. It is, I think it's an electronic smell, and where it's strongest. See, if I smell this is the weirdest technology video, right? If I smell the plastics, it's a little bit there. It's not. Let me just grab. This isn't giving it off. If I pass out, you know why. That's not giving it off. The cardboard isn't giving it off. It's either in the plastics or it's I think it's strongest around this port, or it might be all over. It's either in the paint or it's in the plastics. I'm not joking. Seriously, if you've got one of these and maybe you've commented it on your own video, or maybe you haven't, or maybe you know what I'm talking about, please let me know in the comments so that I know I'm not going crazy. It's not round the back. Don't go sniffing round the back. It's not underneath. No, it's the top. It's the top. And it's definitely around the cartridge slot. And seriously, when I opened this last night, it was like, oh my goodness, that is amazing. Maybe they've added it. I don't know. Anyway, there's the unit. I wish you could smell it. Have a whiff. Have a whiff. Can you smell it? Smell it? Have a look in there. Give that a good whiff. All right, now you're that close though. Look, you got your selector switches here. Beautiful. Cartridge slot. I mean, just look at it. I will give a bit of overlay in a minute as to how this looks against the original Woody that I've got. But there it is. Beautiful. Fairly boring on the bottom. And around the back you've got the joystick ports, obviously, where they were on the original. And you got your other switches there. Your... what are they? They're going to be your difficulty levels. Yeah, A and B difficulty levels and channels and all of that kind of stuff. Alright. There it is. It's nice. And obviously, as you can see here, it's a little bit smaller than the original 2600. And probably a similar footprint to the 2600 Junior. Right, what else is in the box? So let's put that over there. We've got a pamphlet. And we've got this box here. Now, I haven't opened any deeper than this so far. So in here, we've got the cartridge. And on the back here, I can see the dip switches everybody's been talking about. And that's basically a key as to how you choose the different 10 games that are on this cartridge via those dip switch selections. So that's that. This opens up. Okay. Right, so let's get that out. That opens up further, and what you've got in there is a condom over a joystick. There we go, there's that box. Take the condom off. And there we go. Now that feels... look, I've been using the flashback joysticks, the ones that come with the Atari flashbacks, on a lot of my kit, as well as the flashback itself, and I've been happy with them. But this is instantly a lot tighter, a lot nicer feel to it, a lot more robust plastic, a lot heavier. Weirdly, the cable doesn't feel the same. But anyway, but this unit, yeah, definitely tighter. So I'm going to enjoy using this on all my other systems, not just on the 2600 Plus. Let's put that to one side. I'm going to put that back in there. Good. That can go back in there. And then you've also got... is there any markings on that? Oh yeah, Atari. Got to have the word Atari at the top. Okay. And then also with the word Atari on it, you got this little package here. Let's have a look. Like a Rubik's Cube. It's like a transformer. Can't figure it out. Need instructions. Need a YouTube video on how to open the box. So what have we got in here? Let's have a look. I'm going to open it over this so in case pits fall out. Okay, we've got a HDMI cable. We've got USB power cable. I believe that's it. Yeah. So we just got this. That's a big box for 2 cables, right? I mean, that's, and I don't mean that in a bad way because they didn't need to do that at all. And what they've done is they've created a nice little packaging experience. So kudos actually, because a lot of the cheap reproduction stuff we get these days, it's just bland, you know, brown cardboard once you get inside. So that has created actually quite a nice little packaging experience, even though it's completely unnecessary. So that's good. I don't need the instructions because I think it's all fairly self-explanatory. I'm just going to set this up and then I'll switch you back on. And we're going to use this screen here because obviously this has HDMI. This is made for modern devices, obviously, and this screen seems to be nice and responsive with no distortion on image quality and no noticeable lag. Okay, so it's all set up, it's all plugged in. Straight away, one of the things I'm not liking is the way everything is sort of sticking up at the back. On the originals, it's sort of more flat, so cables are hidden more. Everything's sticking out. I'll give you a bit of a close-up overlay, but everything is really sticking up and sticking out. Other than that, I'm loving the quality of this. I plugged it into HDMI, that's saying no signal, whereas usually this would pick something up, but that's fine. I'm going to flick it on. And here we go. Atari logo lights up. I don't know if anybody else has tested what I'm testing here. Atari logo lights up. We got Atari there. And now it says loading game failed. That answers my question. The question I was asking myself here was, knowing that this is meant to be 7800 compatible, the 7800 had a trick up its sleeve, and that was, it had Asteroids built in. You switch the console on, and Asteroids would boot if there was no cartridge in the slot. I was really hoping they'd thrown in that little Easter egg. Unfortunately, all you get is an Atari logo, followed by loading game failed. Let's try it again, just in case I'm missing something. Let's turn it on. Let's hold down the fire button maybe. Or maybe press the fire button. I'm just really hoping that they've put this in as an Easter egg. Loading game failed. No, so there's no Asteroids that I can tell. I hope it's in there and that there's some secret way of unlocking it. I'm not seeing it. So, let's ignore this for a while because everybody would have covered this, right? Let's plug in the 32-in-1 that came with the Atari 2600 Junior. Especially over here, it was sold in Big W at the shop over here. I'll give some overlay of the box because I've got the original box. And there's 32 games in here. Let's plug this in and see if that works. Atari logo, because obviously it's loading a level of emulation, right? Loading game. Hey, we have ice hockey. So what should now happen is, if I turn this off and on again, I should get a different game. Will that work with emulation? Atari logo. Loading game. It's a different game, and I love this game. It's such a simple one. What do? Game. It's a really dumb game. Now, I'm noticing something straight up. This game should have terrain down the bottom. And it's not there. So the first game I've loaded, and is actually an error. There should be terrain along the bottom here. I'll show it on an original. Here we go. So this is the same game. Ah! I think I've spotted a mistake. This is the same game on this screen. On the original 2600, this is the 2600 Plus controller on an original Woody. So there's that test. But this is that game, and you can see there's a terrain along the bottom. However, this has just made me think. It's possible that I put the brightness down on that other screen for ease of recording. So I need to double check that. I need to go back to that. But this is what the game should look like. Let's check it out. Okay, because of the kind of random nature of these 32-in-1 carts, that is painful if you're after a specific game. But the game's loaded, not seeing the terrain along the bottom. Let's see if that is just a menu issue. So let's go menu, and we'll go picture. Like I can tell straight away that's dark. And that says it's vivid. No, brightness is actually normal. Brightness is normal. Let's bring up the brightness. No, so it's not a colour issue. It isn't a TV colour issue. That is not showing the terrain. Turn it off. Turn it on again. That tells me you've got to really know your games as to whether or not you're going to notice if the game is working in its entirety. Oh, that game is weird. I don't like that game. And this is the problem with the 32-in-1. So many games are rubbish. But this is some nice black magic going on here. So just the same as the original console would knock it on to the next game every time you flick the switch. The emulation is doing the exact same thing. That's some maths game. Right, that's enough testing of that cartridge. Let's have a look at a 7800 game. The only 7800 game I own, and the only 7800 game I actually ever want to own, I think. Which is why I'm not bothered about not having a 7800 now, so long as this works. 7800 game, Pole Position 2. So much better than Pole Position. Let's have a look. So I got this one off eBay for next to nothing. The Pole Position 2 for the 7800. Loading game failed. Now, keeping in mind, I haven't been able to test this cartridge. And I can't remember if I've cleaned it. I've got some ISO down here. Loading game failed. Interesting. I'm going to quickly do the pull in, pull out on one of my originals. I'm not going to do it on this brand new system, just to give these pins a bit of a clean. To basically use the cartridge slot to clean it off. I know that's not a preferred method, but trust me, it's just something I do and have had success with in the past. So bear with me, I'll be back. Now, of course, you can't put a 7800 cartridge in a traditional 2600. So I have gone from the ISO on a cotton bud, and just on the first pass, look at the mess I'm getting off that. Absolutely disgusting. So give me a couple of minutes, and then we'll try it again. Okay, I've done a couple of passes, and you can see here, I mean, that is pretty... So I'm using the cartridge to help the camera focus. That's pretty gross. And it's coming off clean now, but I want to leave this cartridge to just, you know, air out for that IsoPro to evaporate. So we'll leave that. Let's try the cartridge that the system comes with. I'll leave that upside down now. So here it is. So 10 games on here. I can't even remember what games are on there. I actually can't remember. You buy these things and then you just kind of move on, right? So there's 10 games. Look, in the tiniest print, keeping in mind, they know they're going to be selling them to people like me that needs put on embarrassing reading glasses. Okay, we've got Adventure, we've got Combat. I've already got Combat. I don't have Adventure. We've got Dodgem, Haunted House, Maze Craze, Missile Command, Yar's Revenge, Video. Why did I buy this? I don't like most of these games. It's the traditional games I don't like River Raid and all of that kind of stuff is great. Let's go Adventure. That's what it's set to by default. Oh, it actually has them on the front of the cartridge as well, so you don't need to keep referencing the box. Right, let's put that in. Logo lights up. Beautiful. And here we go. We're playing Adventure. Now, you know what I'm not seeing at all? Keeping in mind this is emulation. Look, I'm loving this. Straight away, this is great. My intention with this is it can go in the front room where the flashback is at the moment, and then I can play. There's something very special about thunking in the cartridge. And even though this is a new system, this feels legit to me. Just thunking in that cartridge, having a play feels legit, and that's what it's all about. Using the tacky buttons on the Atari Flashback does not feel legit. I hate to say it. At least the joystick that they came with feels, you know, towards the experience. But this is emulation. So why do we not have some automatic scanline options? Why is this not automatically trying its best to mimic a CRT? That's, I think, is a missed opportunity. And you know me, I'm not snobby about those kind of things. I actually don't. I didn't think I cared, but and I'm reaching for the instructions now in case I'm missing something. No, there's one page of instructions. Unless it's in the online manual, which I'm not going to bother with today. Unless I see something obvious, let's have a look on the back. If there's a CRT effect switch or something, I can't even read what these say. What does that say? Okay, that's aspect ratio. So that's 4 by... See, that to me feels 4 by 3 anyway, so I don't know what's going on there. Maybe my TV is setting... That's difficulty, and that's it. So other than 16:9 and 4 by 3, which my TV is doing correctly anyway, missed opportunity. I'm sorry, that is a missed opportunity. That is a bit of a shame. Other than that, let's play Combat. Yeah. Loading game. Yeah, you do. Oh, the bending of the bullets. Love it. It's Combat Works. Okay, let's now see if this has worked after a clean. So 7800 version of Pole Position 2. It's in. It's on. Loading game failed. It's working! Hang on, hang on. Whilst I cut to a different shot, I was doing some shots. I was doing some shots from a different angle for overlay, and I've loaded Pole Position 2 and it's freaking loaded. So, yeah, it must have just finally cleaned off its pins. Pole Position 2's loaded! Hang on. It's loaded. I don't know what the controls are. That's high, that's low. What's accelerate? That's left, that's right. So surely fire is accelerate. Fire's not doing anything. Alright. Why isn't fire doing anything? Do you need a 2-button control? But the game's loaded. The game's loaded. That's just changing. So that's changing gear. Left and right are working. But fire isn't doing anything. I'm just going to try something. Got the gamepad from the Junior. Ah, there you go. You need a 2-button thing, which is stupid because this button doesn't do anything. As it does its brake. That button's brake. It's loaded! It's loaded. So if you've got Pole Position 2 and maybe some other 7800 games, you might need a 2-button joy pad. I'm so happy because this is so much better than Pole Position on the 2600. It's just more like the arcade Pole Position that I remember. Although in part, I think, yeah, I might have overemphasized how good it was in my own memories. But this is good. It is a lot better. I would have to show you what Pole Position looks like now, just to compare. I'm happy. Yes! That's cool. Freaking awesome. So there you go, you can see. Totally different game. This is... yeah, no, I was right to want Pole Position 2 to work, right? The 7800 version. This is so bad in comparison. So very bad. So just to round off, we've had a quick look at combat. I want to see if this plays exactly the same, because that other, the 32-in-1, didn't play quite right on the game that I did load. Let's see if this loads correctly. So combat, original cartridge. So not the one that came with it, that's in my hand here. Loading game. Combat. There it is. Feels the same to me. Even the same curving of the balls. So look, I am actually happy with this. It does what I expected it to do, and that is let me play original cartridges for the most part on a modern screen. Coming from the flashbacks we've been used to, this is night and day. This looks fantastic, feels fantastic. Joystick feels great in the hand, and I'll use that on other systems as well. It's not just going to be exclusive. This is going to be used. It's not a collector's item to sit on a shelf and look pretty for me. Front room, or even on the big TV in this room. Actually, probably not that because the cables aren't long enough. So, front room, and off you pop. Play whatever 2600 game you feel like playing. The only big missed thing for me, I mean, the way the cables stick up, that's annoying, but it's not a deal breaker. And again, it's not a deal breaker, it's just a missed opportunity. They should have, given its emulation, that's just lazy in not trying to replicate the look and feel of a CRT. I would have had it on by default and had it switch offable as an option. The big kicker for me though is why isn't Asteroid 7800 version preloaded on this? Never mind. It so should have been. It so should have been. Great job, Atari. Seriously, great job. You are understanding what your fans want and need and like, and you are catering to it at a price point that doesn't break the bank, and that is how it should be done. Others, take note. I have obviously Berserk Enhanced and Mr. Run and Jump, and I also have the paddle set. Those will be future videos. Thank you for watching.